I need to tell someone about this before they make me stop. Before they convince everyone I'm crazy, or worse, before I disappear like the others. My name is Tyler. I'm 17, and I live in Virginia. You probably saw the TikToks back at the beginning of August, the ones about ice cream trucks driving around at 2 a.m. Everyone said it was fake, mass hysteria. The police said there was no connection to the missing kids. They lied. It started 3 weeks before the videos went viral. I work nights stocking shelves at a grocery store. I get home around 2:30 a.m. most nights. That Tuesday in mid-July, I was walking from my car to the house when I heard it. That tinny, distorted version of The Entertainer echoing through the humid air. I stopped in my driveway. The music was wrong. Not just the timing, though yeah, ice cream at 2-something a.m. is weird, but the actual sound. It was slowed down, maybe 15%. Just enough to make your brain struggle to recognize it. The truck crawled around the corner at maybe 5 miles an hour. Its dim headlights barely cut the dark, while bright yellow strips along the serving window threw a sickly glow across the pavement. The painted pictures on its side were so faded, you couldn't tell what flavors they were supposed to advertise anymore. Just warped, ghostly shapes. But what froze me enough to duck behind my dad's pickup was this. The driver's window was painted black. From the inside. The truck stopped 3 houses down, at my neighbor's place. Their daughter, Lily, was 8. The music kept chiming, that off-key carnival loop. But underneath it, I caught something else. A low-frequency hum. It wasn't the engine. It was intentional. Have you ever stood beside a massive subwoofer? Felt your rib cage rattle with every beat? That's what it was like. Only this was sharper, aimed, like it was inside me. I watched from the shadows as their front door opened. Lily stepped out in her Disney pajamas, barefoot, eyes vacant but stretched into a grotesquely wide smile. She moved with strange determination, like she was heading for the school bus on a normal morning. I should have shouted, called 911, something. But the hum hit me too, and suddenly my legs felt like they were sinking into the driveway. My phone was in my hand, but my fingers wouldn't respond, just dead weight. Lily climbed up into the truck through the serving window. No step stool, no hesitation, just scrambled up the side like a spider monkey and slipped inside. The moment she disappeared inside, the window shut and the hum cut out. The truck rolled forward, turned the corner, and vanished. The tinny music faded into the night until it was gone. I stood there for probably 10 minutes before I could move again. I made my way into the house and hid under the cover, still wearing my work uniform. The next morning, I woke to the sound of sirens. By the time I looked outside, 6 police cruisers were parked along the curb in front of my neighbor's house. Red and blue lights strobed across the street, painting everything in frantic color. Lily was missing. Her mother was in the front yard, collapsed in the grass, her face buried in her hands. She was sobbing so hard her whole body shook, while Lily's father just stood there beside her, pale and hollow-eyed, his arm wrapped around her shoulders, as if that alone could hold the world together. Officers moved through the yard, combing over every inch like they could somehow reconstruct the night by pulling answers from the dirt. I overheard someone say they'd checked the doorbell camera. Nothing. A blank black screen from 2:42 to 2:47 a.m. The exact window of time when I saw Lily walk barefoot to that truck. For a second, I questioned myself. Maybe I had dreamed it. Maybe exhaustion or paranoia had finally gotten to me. But the moment the time was mentioned, it all came back. The music, the hum, Lily's smile. It hit me like a punch to the chest. My parents were already at the window, watching the scene unfold. I walked up beside them and said what I'd been holding in since last night. "I saw her leave," I whispered. "I saw what happened." They turned to me, their faces hard and cold, like I'd said the most offensive thing imaginable. "You stop that right now," my father hissed. "Don't you dare make something up at a time like this," my mother snapped. "Those people are in enough pain without you spinning stories." "But I'm not." "Enough!" She cut me off. "Leave them alone." Their words stung worse than a slap. I stood there, caught between guilt and fury, realizing that not only would no one believe me, they thought I was cruel for even trying. And yet, I knew what I saw. I tried posting about it online, but the posts kept getting deleted. Not by moderators, they just vanished. I started keeping notes in a physical notebook instead. Over the next 2 weeks, I documented everything. I started following the trucks on my bike, and that's when I discovered something that made my stomach drop. There wasn't just one or two. There were at least 5 different trucks working different parts of town. White ones, blue ones, one with rust eating through its panels. All with those painted-over driver windows. I didn't know which one to follow. I'd pick one, trail it for hours, document every stop. But here's the thing, kids never went missing from the truck I was watching. Never. I'd follow the white one with the blue stripe all night, and the next morning I'd hear about a kid disappearing from the complete opposite side of town. Follow the rusty one? A child vanishes from a neighborhood I'd never even seen it enter. They knew I was watching. They had to. While I was following one, the others were doing the actual work. The trucks followed patterns, always between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., always playing slowed-down versions of classic ice cream truck songs. They'd return to the same neighborhoods every 4 days, and kids kept disappearing. Not all at once. One here, one there. Different ages, different backgrounds. The only connection was that they lived in areas the trucks had been spotted. Then something clicked. Every victim was between 6 and 14 years old. The frequency. It wasn't affecting everyone equally. That night with Lily, I'd felt it but could still think, still move eventually. My parents hadn't even woken up. I tested it. Got closer to one of the trucks while it was stopped. The younger kids on the street, I could see them stirring in their windows, drawn to it. But adults? Nothing. They slept right through it. Whatever that frequency was, it targeted developing nervous systems. Kids got the full effect, complete trance state. Teenagers like me felt it but could resist. Adults were immune. Then I made a mistake. I got too close. It was a Saturday night. I'd been tracking one of the trucks, a white one with a blue stripe, through a neighborhood across town. It stopped at a house I recognized. My chemistry partner, Holden, lived there with his little brother. I was recording on my phone from across the street when the truck's serving window opened. Not to let someone in, to let something out. I don't know how to describe what I saw. It looked like heat shimmer at first, like the air above hot asphalt. But it moved with purpose, flowing toward Holden's house. Where it passed, the grass turned gray. Not dead. Gray. Like the color had been extracted from it. Then my phone screen flickered once and went black. I hit the power button, desperate, but the only thing that flashed back was the empty battery icon before it died completely. 70% gone in a heartbeat. Dead. That's when I heard my name. Not called out, not shouted. It came from that same low frequency that made your bones resonate, but it was definitely my name, played at a pitch that human vocal cords couldn't produce. The painted driver's window cracked open, just an inch, just enough for me to see the edge of something that wasn't quite an eye looking directly at me. I ran. Left my bike and just ran. The TikTok started going viral 3 days later. August 10th, people were posting videos of ice cream trucks at night. The comments sections exploded with people sharing similar stories. For about 48 hours, it seemed like the truth might actually come out. Then, the debunking started. Snopes articles, official police statements, news segments about mass hysteria and social media hoaxes. They had explanations for everything. The trucks were vendors working late shifts for factory workers. The missing kids were runaways. Never mind that 8-year-olds don't run away at precisely 3:33 a.m. The slowed-down music was a mechanical issue with old speaker systems. But here's the thing that disturbed me most. The families just accepted it. Lily's family and Holden's family, they were devastated, but they didn't question the runaway explanation. An 8-year-old vanishes between 2 and 3 a.m., and everyone just nods when the police say she ran away. No one asks why. No one questions how. They just accept it. I kept tracking the patterns. I mapped out where every truck had been spotted. I compared it to missing children reports, not just from August, but going back months. Years, actually. They're not random. They're harvesting. Every neighborhood they hit, they take one child. Sometimes immediately, sometimes weeks later, but always one. And the pattern, when you map it out, creates a grid across Virginia. They're systematically working through populated areas, and based on my calculations, they'll have covered the entire state by next summer. I found others who knew the truth. We had a Discord server with about 40 members who'd witnessed the trucks firsthand. It got deleted yesterday, along with every backup we'd created. Members started going quiet one by one, not leaving. Their accounts just stopped responding entirely. 2 nights ago, everything changed. I was leaving work around 3:05 a.m., later than usual because we'd gotten a late delivery. The parking lot was empty except for my car in the employee section. I was fumbling with my keys when I heard them. Multiple ice cream truck songs, all slightly different, converging from different directions. 3 ice cream trucks rolled into the parking lot. They formed a semicircle around the employee section where I'd parked. No headlights, just the bright, sickly lights along their serving windows, casting this sick yellow glow on the asphalt. The pictures on the sides were faded to the point where you couldn't tell what they were supposed to be advertising. But here's what made me drop my keys. All 3 trucks had their driver's windows painted black from the inside. The music kept playing from all 3, slightly out of sync, creating this horrible echo effect. But underneath it, I heard something else. A low-frequency hum. My legs felt heavy, not paralyzed, but like I was walking through water. My phone was in my hand, but my fingers felt thick and clumsy. I managed to get my car door open and fell into the driver's seat. The moment the door closed, the pressure eased up. The truck sat there for another 30 seconds. Then, in perfect synchronization, they backed up and left through different exits. When I finally started my car, I drove home as fast as I could. A part of me was hoping a cop would pull me over so I could tell him what happened. I just went home and hid in my room. The next morning, I found a note tucked in my visor. I know it wasn't there before. Silence is golden. Silence is mine. Stay quiet, or become another they'll never find. I'm writing this on a library computer because I don't trust my own devices anymore. I've seen all types of ice cream trucks pass by my house every night since. Not stopping, just passing, letting me know they know where I live. Here's what I've learned that might keep you safe. The hum frequency is approximately 17.5 hertz, below human hearing, but not below human perception. It affects kids and teenagers. The younger you are, the stronger the effect. If you're over 20, you probably won't even feel it. They don't try to break into your home. They don't force their way in. They lure you out. The children always come to them. Whatever frequency or signal they're using, it's extremely effective. This isn't random. This isn't isolated. Virginia isn't the only place it's happening. I've tracked the same patterns in North Carolina, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. Clusters of disappearances dismissed as hoaxes or urban legends. I am starting to find reports out in California now, too. Official reports always frame them as unrelated incidents, always explained away with the same tired reasons: custody disputes, runaways, accidents. Explanations that get repeated until even the parents believe them. But the patterns don't lie. I don't know what they want with the children. I only know that once a kid disappears, their case quickly sinks into the endless static of missing persons databases, cold after a week, buried by the next headline. Their families still remember them, of course, but the strangest part is how fast the fight goes out of them. They stop asking questions. They stop pushing. It's as if the same influence that pulled their children into those trucks spreads to the parents too, rewriting grief into acceptance. They accept the runaway story, even when it doesn't make sense, even when every instinct should scream otherwise. I'm not stopping. Someone needs to get the truth out there. There has to be someone who will listen and believe. But if I disappear, if this post vanishes, if I become just another runaway, you'll know why. The ice cream trucks are real. They're organized, and they're not done. If you ever hear the music at night, especially if it sounds warped, out of place, or just wrong, do not investigate. Don't step outside. Don't try to film it. Don't play the hero. Lock your doors. Kill the lights. Stay away from the windows. Hide, and wait for it to pass. And if you have children, make sure they're nowhere near the doors or windows. Keep them close. Do not let them answer the sound, no matter what they say or how much they insist they just want to look. The pull is stronger on kids. In the morning, when the air feels normal again, all you can do is wait. Wait to see which house the police show up to next. Which parents will be standing on their front lawn, crying, clueless about what happened to their child. Because if the music comes, someone always goes missing. And by then, it won't matter. Everyone will accept the same story, that they just ran away, and no one will question it. Everyone except people like me. And we're becoming fewer and fewer every night.